Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Alperen Sengun, and Jabari Smith Jr. led the Houston Rockets this past season. The Houston Rockets are one of the most struggling franchises in today's NBA. They have been at the bottom of the league for years now and are looking to turn their organization around. They have talented young players, and they just added more young talent in the draft lottery with one half of the Thompson twins in Amen Thompson. They also added four free agents this offseason that will undoubtedly change their team dynamic. So let's discuss this squad and their players. The Houston Rockets went 22 and 60 this past season, which was tied for the second worst record in the league. They struggled everywhere. They were at the bottom of the NBA in pretty much every category: points per game, true shooting, three-point percentage, assists per game, defensive efficiency, name a stat, and they were probably one of the worst at it. The Houston Rockets starting lineup last year featured Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Eric Gordon, or Kenyon Martin at the three mainly, Jabari Smith Jr. at the four, and Alperen Sengun at the five. Like I said, they struggled mightily in most areas, one of those being efficiency, and they lacked continuity in their offense. But the team does have some talented young players. Jalen Green has been a young player a lot of people aren't high on because of his inefficiencies, which is a fair thing to point out, and he needs to find ways to be more efficient, but he definitely has talent and a lot of potential. He possesses great athleticism, which allows him to finish creatively at the basket and draw fouls. He is also a big threat in transition because of this. He also uses his handle and step to create space on the perimeter and get up his three pointers. I believe he has great potential as an overall scorer, but showing this efficiently in spurts isn't enough, and an increase in efficiency is imperative to his future. Alperen Sengun is the prospect people seem to be the highest on for this Rockets team. Although he has been reported to have grown, he played as an undersized center this past season, but his post moves paved the way for him to be able to play at the five. He has a game that is very hard to guard one on one, and a lot of guys aren't used to guarding this type of player anymore. The most standout trait of his is his amazing IQ, and he can make a lot of great passes. And I really like him as a lead playmaker going forward in Houston. Jabari Smith Jr. didn't have a great rookie season overall, as he shot pretty inefficiently. But with Ime Udoka at the helm next season, who should integrate him in the offense much better than Steven Silas did, I think he will definitely improve. Over the last month and a half or so of the season, he started to look better, and he can be a 3-and-D guy with a developing scoring game for the Rockets going forward. And I think what he showcased in Summer League as a scorer from all over the floor shows promise for the future. These are three of the main pieces for Houston going forward, and after drafting Amen Thompson, he immediately became their point guard for the future, and he adds another potential future star to this team. And in the OTE league, he showcases passing and playmaking skills. I think playing with the fast-paced Reapers helped him to learn how to be aware and find open guys. He was third in the regular season in assists per game and led the league for the postseason. In the summer league, he demonstrated his great traits of poise and patience at the one, racking up 5 assists. Amen is also a world-class athlete, and this is what most of his scoring game is predicated on. He can punish the rim, and again in the summer league, he displayed his high-level rim finishing ability with both hands. On the other side of the ball, he's also very active. He put up 4 blocks and 3 steals in his only summer league game. This is big for a young player. Most rookies come in and have no idea how to keep up on the defensive side of the ball. His biggest flaw right now is his three-point shot, and that will have to improve for him to become a dangerous overall scorer and reach superstar level, as he shot under 30% for the City Reapers. But that is kind of the only flaw in his game right now. He's very well rounded. You look at this young player and you see stardom, or at least I do, but because of the signing of Fred VanVleet, Amen will have to start his career off the bench. Naturally, after such a bad season, a team was to add players to make them better, and everyone knows about the cap limit. Teams can only spend so much, but there is also a cap floor. You also have to spend a certain amount as an NBA team, or there is a penalty. And the Houston Rockets by far had the most money to spend this offseason. So with both of these in mind, the Rockets signed Fred VanVleet, Dillon Brooks, Jeff Green, and Jock Landale. And while a lot of people believe this free agency in Houston is great for their future, I have some mixed feelings about how some of these moves affect their future. Now, I think the main reason they signed VanVleet 8 days after drafting Amen is because, again, they have to pay somebody. Most other roster are on rookie contracts, and again, you don't want to be below the cap floor. So without many options in this free agency class, they signed Fred VanVleet to a 3-year, $130 million contract. And this is one of the signings I have mixed feelings about, and a lot of people seem to be divided on. Fred VanVleet is a good player. His best trait is his scoring ability. He mainly uses his screen navigation and off-ball movements to knock down his three-pointers, and this is his main form of attack. He had a down year this past season, but judging by his career three-point average, I think he will be trending back upwards next season. As an undersized player, he's always struggled with converting two-pointers efficiently, and he's consistently below league average in true shooting percentage. I believe he is a good passer and will do most of his playmaking in the pick and roll. He will help this team have more direction and a more consistent offensive game plan alongside new head coach Ime Udoka. VanVleet will also be a great locker room presence for such a young team that lacked a veteran leader last season. As for Amen having to start his career off the bench, I don't love it. I definitely believe he is good enough to start right away, and I would love to see him in the starting lineup with his fellow young guys. I know I just said I like VanVleet as a leader for this team, and I do, but I think it is unfortunate that that also means Amen can't start. As for another con of this signing, I don't like that VanVleet is as inefficient as he is for a team that already struggled in this area. He has played many years in the league, he has won a ring, so he undoubtedly has a lot of knowledge to bestow upon the youth. But on the court, can he be the playmaker and overall floor general this young team would need him to be? Like I said earlier, I think he is a good passer, and he did average over 7 assists this past season. But he is mainly a scorer, and he will get his shots up. He's a good player, but I think the fit here is definitely questionable. And that makes Amen not being able to start out the gate even worse, in my opinion. But again, I understand why they felt they had to do it. To continue the new pickup talk, let's discuss Dillon Brooks. They signed him for 4 years, $80 million. In this past season, Dillon Brooks became one of the most infamous NBA players. He got a lot of attention for his on-court antics and not so great performances. Brooks did make all defensive second team, and he will help this team establish themselves a defensive identity along with some other players on the team. But similar to VanVleet, there is cause for concern with how much he likes to shoot the ball without making a whole lot of them. He shot under 40% from the field, under 33% from three, and almost 9% under league average true shooting percentage. This is terrible for any team, but especially the team that was already 28th in true shooting percentage for an entire year. So while Brooks adds some defense to the squad, I don't like this signing. As for bringing in Jeff Green for 1 year, $6 million, I like it. He offers veteran leadership as a 15-season vet coming off a championship. Jock Landale for 4 years, $32 million gives him a solid backup center. We talked about some of the team's young starters before, but let's get into the guys who will most likely come off the bench this upcoming season. Kevin Porter Jr. played point guard for the Houston Rockets last season, but his much more natural position seems to be shooting guard, where he can showcase his best trait of scoring the ball. He shows the most game when breaking down defenders with his handle and pulling up for jumpers. He's the 4th youngest player to ever drop 50 points in a game, and I'm excited to see him under Ime Udoka, and a bench backcourt of him and Amen will be a lot for teams to handle. Tari Eason is another guy off the bench, and he's a guy a lot of Houston fans are high on. His best traits are his high motor and defensive ability. He's one of 2 rookies to grab 12 or more offensive rebounds in a game in the last 25 years. He was tied for 8th in total on-ball steals this season despite only playing 21 minutes per game. He is one of 10 players to play all of their team's games this season. Cam Whitmore was drafted 20 this year out of Villanova, and a lot of people consider him the steal of the draft. He showcased his ability to score in the Summer League, and he's very confident while doing it. So with all of this being said, where does this Rockets team stand? I think their starting lineup will include Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. I think VanVleet moving into more of a passing and playmaking point guard role is key to this team's ability to just be a functioning offense as well as the development of the youth. Jalen Green should be their main scorer, and he will be, and I think he could take a big jump this upcoming season. He also needs to continue to develop as a playmaker, as every star should know how to get their teammates involved. Dillon Brooks provides defense to this team, But like I said before, he will not be good for this team or any team offensively. I'm excited to see Jabari Smith Jr. with a new coach. I think we will see an increase in efficiency and he will continue to make strides as a defender. Alperen Sengun has already showed us how good he is, but with more playmaking responsibility under Udoka, we will see a whole nother level from him. While there are a lot of positives to draw from this team, specifically with the young guys, I see this team at their best, making the play-in likely as a 9th or 10th seed this season. This upcoming season and seasons to come should mainly be focused on developing these young guys and putting things in place to become a great team one day, and I believe they have the potential to do it. How good do you think this Rockets team can be this upcoming season? And how bright is their future in your eyes? Could they make the playoffs? How do you feel about their moves in free agency? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Rxkz with Hoops Times 2. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.